All right, good morning, Phoenix. Today we are going to be working on making sure that you know how to create a Google form. So the first thing that you need to do is make sure that you are logged into your Google Drive. Once you're in your Google Drive, you always want to create things in a place where you actually know where they are. So if you notice at the top here is kind of my breadcrumb trail, and you can see that I've purposely put it in a folder so that I know where it is. If I just create it in my Drive, sometimes things can be difficult to find. So I'm going to go over to New, More, Google Forms. Yes, it's okay to share it if it's in a shared folder. Some of it may just open for you. All of that is completely okay. So what it gives me right from the start is an untitled form. So the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and give it a title. So for this, I'm just going to say Practice Google Form. And as soon as I say OK, it'll actually also include the title in the actual form itself. There's a place for a form description. You always want to put something small just so your audience knows what it is that you're talking about. So I might say this form is to collect information about random things, whatever it is that the purpose is. When you scroll down, then you have lots of options. It'll also always default to a multiple choice question first. If I want to change a question type, I just click on that box and it gives me some options. Text is if I want somebody to write something small. This is not where somebody's going to elaborate a lot on something. It's like a first name, a last name, a link to something, a one-word, two-word, sentence-long answer. Paragraph text is something that you're going to want to choose if you want them to write quite a bit. If you want somebody to reflect on something, give feedback on something, paragraph text is what you're going to want to use. Multiple choice is just like multiple choice on a quiz, but what is important to know on a survey is that for multiple choice, your audience would only be able to select one option. The same is true of choose from a list. Your audience would only be able to select one option. However, the difference between multiple choice and choose from a list, multiple choice, all the choices are displayed right on the screen. Choose from a list is going to be a little drop-down box. Check boxes is what would allow somebody to select more than one item. So if you wanted people to be able to check more than one thing or select more than one response, check boxes is the way to go. And then scale is the last one that we are going to focus on. And for scale questions, what that allows you to do is have somebody rank something. So I'm trying to think of a good example would be something like strongly agree to strongly disagree. And somebody could choose anything in the middle. That would be a scale question. So we're going to go through and we're going to add each of these types of questions. So the question title is always your actual question. So let's see here. How do you feel about being a Phoenix? Okay, help text is if anybody needs to know something or if there's something you want to clarify about the question. So I could say, please be honest. So whatever I want is fine. For something along the lines of a feeling, a scale question is probably to my benefit. You'll notice that it's allowing me to rank 1 to 5. I can change that to 0 to 10. It doesn't matter. 0 being I hate being a Phoenix. 10 being I couldn't have asked for a more amazing team. And then if I click required question, that means my audience has to answer that question before they are allowed to submit the form. If I want to see what this looks like, then I'd simply click done, and it gives me a small preview of what this question would look like. Let's try adding, so when that's done, you can go down and you can click add item. If I just click add item in and of itself, then it will default to multiple choice. If I click add item, the little drop down arrow, then it will give me the same options that I had before. So if I want to choose like a checkbox question or whatever it is that I want. You'll notice that there are, if I hover over these different question types, that's how I can edit it. So if I want to go back and edit this first question, all I have to do is hover over it so that it turns gray, click, and then it goes back to the editing format. I can click done. You'll notice that I now have two that just say option 1. That's because I added 2 questions, but I haven't done anything with them yet. So if I hover over it, I can click it, add my question, what is your favorite color? You may only choose one. It's always good for your audience to know, so I know it's a multiple choice, and we'll do red, blue, red, blue, green. Okay, let's say I said Merple, and I don't want that anymore. Those little X's over on the side, can change them. If I want somebody to be able to add their own response, there's always this add other option that then would add somebody to add their own answer. Again, I want to make this one required, and I'm going to click done, so then again you can see what that would look like. For, let's say I wanted a second multiple choice question, and I essentially want it to be like, maybe I want it to be the opposite of this, and I want the same answer choices to be available. If I hover over this again and I click this duplicate button, the pencil is edit, this is duplicate, this is if I want to trash my question. If I click duplicate, then what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to take that same question and kick it down to a new question. So if I want to say, what is your least favorite color? You may only choose one. I can leave the rest of this the same and click done. And now it's been really quick for me to set that up. If I want to, let's say I want to get rid of this. Let's say I have different sections. And so the beginning maybe are some scale questions. The second section is multiple choice. And then the third section, maybe I want to add some constructed response. If I go down to add item, there is a layout section, and I can add a section header, a page break, an image, or I can add a video. Anything that's going to enhance my survey for my audience. For today, we'll just add a section header. You'll notice that there's no question options here, but this would be, I could call it scale questions, and then I could say these questions will give information about how you feel about being a Phoenix. And if I click done, well, now it's at the bottom, and I wanted it at the top with my how do you feel about a Phoenix question. All I have to do is, as long as I can see the 4 cross arrows, I just click and I can physically drag this up, and then I can let go of it as soon as I'm finished and then it's in the correct order. So that's about how to make a Google form. If I want to change my theme, all I want to do is click change theme, and it'll show me a little preview of what I want. Over on the side, there are a lot of different themes that I can choose from. However, what's cool about Google Forms is I can also customize one. So if I want to customize it, I choose this basic theme, I click customize, and then I have all of these options. I can choose a header image, so if I wanted to do something like that, I just click choose image. There are a ton of different options that I have, not only within Google, but if I want to choose my own picture, I can click upload. And if I want to choose my own, let's see what I've got here. Oh, here's my icon. I can choose that, select it, and then I can add my own image. I can center it. I can fit it to the width, which sometimes that can get a little crazy. I can change the color and the fonts of all of my titles, my descriptions, my questions. If I want to change the page background, I can even put an image there if I want. Again, I can do a lot of different things with this, but I can also choose my own image. And let's say I wanted to choose, we've got this blogging one. I can open that. Some of them, you'll notice that like it's as big as the entire screen. I can always resize those. I can tile it, or I can pick an image that's going to be smaller. And then you can see how that looks a little bit different. It just has repeated the image over and over. Once I'm done with that, I can go to View Live Form. And this is the way that the form is actually going to look to my audience. You'll notice that up in the corner it says edit form, so there's always a way for you to go back and go to editing. It's also open in a different tab, but the link at the top of this Google form, so the live form, the link that is at the top of it is what you will send or post for your audience. So I'm going to exit out of this and go back here. Once people have responded to your Google form, then we will talk in a different video about how to view your responses. So this day you've learned about how to use a Google form. Hopefully it all made sense and you're getting ready to practice one of your own.